What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga, this time with volume 20, the chapters Hell's Angels and One Unknown in the Depths of Depths. Obviously when we ended off last chapter we left off with some hellish angels, didn't we? Again, did think all this time Mozgus was a demon. We did kind of, it was explained that his followers weren't demons, but I'm pretty sure they're all now demons from the wings on their backs. But I wonder if this is a bit of a reference to the movie Hell's Angels. I'm pretty sure it had a pretty good director, if I'm not wrong. I did watch that movie when I was younger. Didn't really enjoy it. It was parodied a bit in Scary Movie 2, I think, as well. Oh wow, the original one was 1930. Bloody hell! I haven't seen that version. When the one I'm looking for came out, maybe like early 2000s. I can't even find it. I can't believe that that is that old. The 2000 Charlie's Angels. That's what I'm looking for. Hell's Angels. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's had a pretty good director. I might be getting the reference wrong there. Apologies. Mukji. What a weird name. Maybe not an acclaimed. I don't know. I feel like I've heard Mukji before. But yeah, I don't really like this movie. Yeah, my apologies, guys. That wasn't exactly the correct reference there, was it? Looks like it was a reference to, again, a 1930s movie. I haven't ever seen any movies from that kind of period. I think, well, actually, I watched, the only one I've actually watched is Nosferatu, which, again, is just a product of time, but not much of a kind of, wasn't that great. Again, as we age, the movies and such get better, but I think that came out like 1922. But that's the only movie I've seen from around like that 50 years before or after. So, but yeah, looking forward to seeing what we've got today. We'll just revitalise myself with some of the contents. Of course, we had the sun going berserk right here. Again, that was crazy, wasn't it? Casca captured by Mozgus, who is now a demon. We had this whole Luca bit, which was really awesome. I really like this. Again, I did not expect the combination of Skull Knight and Luca to be a thing, but it's actually quite cool, wasn't it? They kind of Skull Knight recognised Luca for what she did do. Really awesome, wasn't it? And again, more Nina hatred, I imagine, from a lot of people. Potentially going to drop Luca. Very interesting seeing that, wasn't it? But again, Skull Knight kind of recognising her. That was really awesome. Guts arriving to the fight, of course. But again, I think my favourite part, apart from the last couple of chapters, was these panels right here with Luca and Skull Knight. Really awesome. Again, very unexpected as well. But yeah, obviously we got Skull Knight taking on the Blob as well. And yeah, we end off exactly with this sequence right here, with all of these guys having lovely angel wings. Again, they look too heavenly and too good, don't they? It fits with the religion stuff, and it fits with how, I'm not saying everyone, but how a lot of people see themselves. Well, maybe not see themselves, maybe how I see religious people about themselves, if that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like sometimes religious people can be a bit too virtuous, too kind of up themselves, if that probably a bad way of putting that, but sometimes they can be a bit pretentious and again, that disregard anything out of that kind of realm of God and their beliefs or whatever, which is quite fitting for this image. It kind of has a demonic host, but has such a kind of heavenly kind of surrounding around it. It's again, I don't know why it makes me feel like that, but I haven't met too many people like that, luckily enough for me. But there are those out there that again are just a bit too much to deal with. But yeah, let's have a look at the Hell's Angels chapter. Again, we're proper in the climaxes now, aren't we? So this volume is going to be very good. Apologies if you just heard my my knuckles crack. It's not often I do that. It's pretty damn loud. But, there's Casca under the white wings. Surprised Guts actually threw anything at them, considering it could potentially hit Casca. There it is. Hawk. And I feel like there might be a hawk behind this whole scenario, to be honest with you. Behind this whole situation. Blocked by one of his men. That's a pretty cool shot right there as well, isn't it? Didn't realise there were so many pillars in the way. Guts between them. You fool who rebels against God, you shall pay for this sin with your own blood. And I feel like these guys do a pretty good job at displaying that kind of dismissing as well. They just dismiss people as heretics and just easily torture and kill them. Again, this is not a representation of all religion and all religious people, don't get me wrong, but it's a pretty good representation of some. That is for sure. In a more extreme way, of course. I kind of feel bad for all these guys if they... I mean, surely they've been possessed, they've all got wings. But I feel bad for these guys, honestly. They've been demonified. I mean, Mozgus, yeah, fair enough. But I don't. These guys didn't deserve this, did they? That's so awesome, isn't it? I like this guy's whole thing, if you know what I'm saying. Wheel guy. Just a brute with a wheel. He's almost like a bit of a motorbike by himself, isn't he? Probably got many times the force of one. Really awesome designs, and again, they look even cooler with these wings, don't they? I feel like it fits this guy. I feel like it fits this guy the most, the little one here, but it also fits this guy really nicely, doesn't it? The whole pigeon, penguin thing going on. I feel like it probably fits this guy the least. That's why they're not really too shown here. But yeah, honestly, this looks really cool, doesn't it? I think this is probably my favourite one. This guy is becoming one of my favourite ones in general. He was really hilarious a couple of chapters ago, wasn't he? But yeah, I do wonder if we'll see Mozgus's face get even more ugly after his demonification. Apostles? No, they're not. Looks like they're pseudos. This feeling in my neck. There'll be plenty of trouble, and there's 7 of them. From monsters in the cellar to angels in the tower. I'm fed up with this farce. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is he here? Monsters, angels, and the black swordsman? What's going on? And Luca up and flew away. Black? You know about that guy? See Joe's little eyes. Eyes of interest right there, aren't they? Before we were dispatched here, the Holy Iron Chain Knights followed him around for 2 years. Why? Got me. Only those at the top know. I'm not too sure about things, but that means he's a big name. Man, he really doesn't do anything to deny the monkey allegations, does he, little Cedro? Places like that. I knew I was on target. Hey, wait, what are you doing? Ain't it obvious? I'm doing him a favour. Stay out of this one, Cedro, bro. Stay safe. Stay alive. Look in front of you. Yee! You go first, man. He's still here. Guts, behind you. As you got the trapper. Man, that's a really cool shot there, isn't it? Wind him up and then next just unleashing the grip. Nice. We got a big chunk of his arm right there. Oh, we got a massive chunk of his arm right there. Fucking hell. Again, I feel bad for these guys, to be honest with you. Like I said, all we've got of these guys, they're actually like decent, just unappreciated people. Again, it's sad that we actually have to kill them now, isn't it? I feel like these are maybe some of the demons I feel worse for. Again, there was obviously Rosie in the last few chapters. There has been demons I felt bad for. But these guys really are like almost very innocent, aren't they? I mean, don't get me wrong, they've fucking killed and tortured a lot of people. But as we've seen, they're not kind of right, if you know what I'm saying. They're almost been taken advantage of by Mozgus, so it's not really fair to put that upon them. That more lies under Mozgus, in my opinion. And again, these are some of the demons I feel actually the worst for, unfortunately. As we tear his arm off. Puck's still riding his little mecha. There's something weird on your head, boy. Awesome. Only because I'm in his corner. Here comes the little one with the, not sure what to call them, pliers of sorts. Here he comes. The classic guts. I love that one. Just a full arm span, just backhand. He does that one quite often as well, doesn't he? It's like misses. I could imagine this little one being very agile. Funnily enough, I think agility is probably my best physical trait. It's not really a physical trait, but athletic trait. I've always been really fast on short distance and always been really good at accelerating and kind of moving in and out. I've always been, well, I won't say bad, but I've never really been great at like long distance running or anything like that. Or kind of, I'm pretty good weight wise, but I've never been extremely good kind of weight wise and lifting wise either. Off topic. When did he get so close? I'm just missing everything right now. That was a wild kick, by the way. Like that left him very open. Oh damn! Yeah, imagine that. Imagine Guts loses both of his eyes. What the fuck do you do then? What the hell would Guts do then? Just die, I guess. The end of Guts, really, wouldn't it? It's quite scary when you think about that, actually. Guts doesn't even need to die. If a demon or something just takes out his other eye, he's just done for, eventually. Maybe there'd be someone in this universe that could kind of replace that. Again, we're not really sure kind of the lengths of stuff like that, but another really cool shot of this guy. Again, I can't help but relate him a lot to Sam from Trick or Treat, who's another kind of horrific. Well, this guy's not horrific, but Sam from Trick or Treat, which is a really good anthology. Definitely check out if you guys haven't. Reminds me of him, who's a little kind of sackhead. He's like the embodiment of Halloween almost. If you go against the traditions or you turn your lights out early on Halloween, he'll kill you. And he's just really cute. Again, quite demonic and evil, but he's really cute, and he reminds me a lot of this guy. I think that's why I like him so much. A little playful. His weapon's a little lollipop that's kind of been bitten, but it's really sharp. I'll get a picture up, you guys. I think you guys probably understand more if you see him. Again, definitely watch this if you guys haven't. Yeah, this little guy. Oh, I hate it that it's on the right side. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll move the page over here actually. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, this guy. He reminds me of this guy quite a lot. Who again, really cute, isn't he? Don't get it wrong, evil. Well, I'm not even sure he's evil. I actually quite like him because I like Halloween. So I almost respect, I almost respect him. But damn, we're really gonna bite those. That's nasty. Imagine how many people have been done with those. But just in terms of that fucking being in your mouth, that's scary in itself, is it not? Imagine it just cracked your teeth. Oh, that's horrible to think about, isn't it? That's always something that's really got me. Someone like cracking your teeth. And there's a few scenes I've seen with people pulling out their teeth, which is bad enough. But cracking them and like breaking them like that would be absolutely awful. That'd be so painful. But he's got a strong jaw, Mr. Guts, hasn't he? Oh no. Did we get him? Man, so close. The bite of guts is a cut above. True. The bite of guts is a scary thing. It's almost like a dog, and it kind of locks its jaw, which is really hard to get off. Luckily, I've never been on the. Well, I have. I've never been on the other end of that to that extent. I've been bitten by a dog. Don't get me wrong, but I've never had like a pit bull lock its jaw on me, which again would be absolutely horrible. I saw a video the other day of some guy, and it was literally the dog flew up, like I think it bit his leg, and the dog like flew up, and it was still just biting down as hard as possible on the guy's leg. It was ridiculous. Not a very well trained dog. Yeah, scary, honestly. Makes you think of like what a lion's biting, what that could do to you. Force and pressure in that. Quite an interesting topic, kind of fighting animals, isn't it? Like, I think there are some instances that you could take on, maybe not a full-grown kind of male lion, but I feel like there are some people in some instances where that would be possible. Again, we are human, but it's not like we're useless. It's not like we're going to use our mouths to bite them. I mean, I feel like we've got there's a lot humans can do. Don't get me wrong, not much against certain animals, but like elephants, for example, and rhinos, and what are they called? Hippos. Fuck that. There's definitely not any animals I want to take on. Saw a video of some hippos killing someone the other day as well, and it was fucking brutal. No, it wasn't a person actually. Sorry, it was I think it was like a deer, and it literally just bit down and just ragdolled it. Just like probably broke all its bones in its body. And yeah, it's brutal. You could very much imagine a person in that. That's where I got that from, I think. You could very much imagine a person in the deer's shoes, and again, just getting rattled about. It was like bit up until here. You could imagine their spine and their ribs and all just cracking, just getting flung, and then just eventually just dragged into the to the river. Quite ominous, honestly. And I think hippos are over time becoming one of the most scary animals, in my opinion. Rant over. Can't avoid it. Just look at that. Just a mountain of muscle behind this guy. Ridiculous. Okay, we've parried him away. Nice job. Again, this guy's like a train, isn't he? This guy's ridiculous. Again, there's not really much point of wings on this guy, is there? Looks like Gus gets done pretty bad though, and looks like he couldn't actually control himself either, which is understandable. Hopefully he fell off the edge. Oh no, he didn't. That would have been pretty handy, wouldn't it? Although the wings would actually come in handy there, wouldn't they? This guy's really in the rubble. What? This is bad, kid. We really should run. I'm worried about Luca too. This one's hyper level fight. This is one hyper level fight. Hey, I'm used to it. And look at the Pseudo backing his boy. Go on. What are you saying? We wait for an opening and snatch Casca? You want to abandon her? Are you serious? If you're a knight, then die in battle for women and children. Well said. I want to live for women. That's what it was back then, wasn't it? Wars and battles and such. And even today to the... Oh, God. Even today to an extent, I feel like less so. But again, especially back in the day, I wasn't alive, so I don't really know. But I do feel like from what I watched, it was more men were just... Their life was forfeit for the women and children of their country and such, isn't it? Because it would just be pretty much all men sent back in those days, but nowadays it's slightly different where you can apply and you don't, well, in some countries you don't have to, don't get me wrong, in some you are kind of mandated to serve. This is doesn't look quite as cute now, does he? This guy was really cute before, but now he just looks quite scary. His head just changed, hasn't it? And I don't know why. I feel like I recognise this quite heavenly kind of image, isn't it? Again, obviously, it's all quite religious and such right now, but again, I kind of recognise this. It reminds me a little bit of a Digimon. Lucemon. I can't remember what mode, but it reminds me of that. But it just looks strange with the fucking size of this guy's neck. I mean, these two bones in his neck are almost the size of his head. Let alone these traps. This guy's yeah. Can't imagine his head's very heavy on his head. That is a problem some people deal with, isn't it? Some people's heads are so big they actually struggle the neck power for keeping it up. I've always wondered, this might sound a bit apologies if I offend anyone here, but I've always wondered about fat people and their legs. They must have some real strong legs to keep up all that weight. Oh god, what the fuck? Alright, this guy's not yeah, this was not what I was hoping to see under there. Well, this guy looks nasty. It's like it's like his head is like, it's not hair, but it's kind of, well, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Not sure how to describe that. Looks awful though. This guy who's biting his own arm for some reason. And his interesting shaped head. Oh dear. This is real difficult, isn't it? This is a real difficult situation. 7, how many? 5 or 6 pseudo apostles at once, by the way. One Step Farther. Hell's Angels End. Well, that was a action-heavy chapter and a half, wasn't it? Really nice scenes in here, wasn't there? Again, I really like this one. As much as again I find it weird, it is something about this I really like. Scary, but again, it's also kind of angelic. Yeah, some nice artwork in there. Just want to read the comments quickly. Yeah, put the mask back on. They don't care about the masks now, is the thing. I think that is the thing, isn't it? Before they always had their masks on. We never saw any of them without their masks, except for the penguin guy. But I feel like that was obviously for a reason, wasn't it? Oh. Someone's talking about Pinhead here. Who here looks like Pinhead? I didn't see that. Pinhead, awesome design, by the way. It's not really any people that look like Pinhead, to be honest, is there? I've ever seen such a unique design. Most of the designs, not all of them, to be fair, but most of the designs for the Hellraiser Cenobites were very unique, weren't they? Again, I can't help but feel like they did inspire a little bit of Berserk. I feel like that's with everything, though. Everything is a kind of inspiration. Everything that comes after something is inspired by something. Who are they talking about? Who looks like? I think they're just talking rubbish. But yeah, let's get right into the next chapter. What is this? Left her on the horse. What's happening? Here before my eyes. Look at the muscles on Skull Knight's legs. Bloody hell. Look, I have quite muscly legs. Like I said, I'm quite very agile. I've got a lot of power from the offset, and sometimes I think that goes against me with long form kind of distance running and such. One unknown in the depths of depths. Well, as much as it seems like the major battle and the major piece is the Guts versus these Pseudo Apostles and Mozgus at the top, which I think I understand more about the title of the chapter a few chapters ago. I feel like this is, I mean, we haven't seen too much of either of these guys, but this could be like the kind of real deal, if you know what I'm saying. This could be the kind of battle for the kind of win, if you know what I'm saying. Even though we don't know much about either of these guys. I mean, we know a lot more about Skull Knight, but this guy could be like the final boss, for example. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Death and some strange monster in a field of corpses. It's like I've strayed into someone's bad dream. And this almost mirrors the situation with Skull Knight and Zord a little bit, doesn't it, as well? When the eclipse was going on. So there is very much a lot of similarities between the eclipse and this, isn't there? Again, this was described as a kind of smaller scale kind of eclipse and such, wasn't it? A kind of knockoff. It's not terrifying so much as surreal. No, if I'm going to say that, then those monsters in the tower and Mozgus and him are the same. Sorry. No, if I'm going to say that, then those monsters in the tower and Mozgus and his are the same. Even Elaine. What the hell is happening? Here, on holy ground. This indescribable malice. Is that malice? It's like, I've never seen that word. I don't think that's malice, is it? That's malice. Malice. Never heard of that one. Oh, sorry guys, 1 second. A general feeling of discomfort or illness. Malaise. Malaise. How is it different in other pronunciations? What's the American pronunciation? Malaise. 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 Why is it different? Not a question that you're going to get an answer to, I don't think. There's a lot of big and small changes between American and English, isn't there? English. This indescribable malaise. It's like the real world has begun to crack, starting here. This is such a horrible setting, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, it's cool as hell. But just a field of dead, rotting, infected bodies. Again, this would be amazing to see in like a movie or something. Again, a lot of. I do feel like the more I do read Berserk, the more I do understand that it is almost unadaptable, especially in kind of movie form and such. It'd be so difficult to have like this. Like even just like an average scene in Berserk. I'm not saying this is an average scene, but like every volume and such, we're getting lots of stuff like this, and this stuff would be like a major action kind of set piece for a movie or a kind of a majorly big budget investment for an anime, and you'd have to have that every kind of couple episodes. I am understanding more as time goes on that it is an absolute nightmare to adapt, really, isn't it? Feel like the way to go maybe would be to kind of use, I mean, as bad as it sounds for you guys that have watched the 2016-17 version, is to use kind of CGI and non-practical effects. Imagine fucking practical effects in this. I mean, you'd have to if you made a movie out of it in terms of the gore and such. But I feel like nowadays they're having a good mix of kind of practical effects in horror, which you always need, in my opinion. You can never let that go. But they're actually enhancing it a little bit with CGI and camera and editing stuff nowadays, and it looks pretty good, honestly. As long as it's not kind of full CGI, I'm okay with it. But you can always really tell when they're using like CGI in a horror movie, because again, just so many haven't had CGI. But as I was saying, I feel like again stuff like this, like how do you do this? Again, you'd have to use some kind of editing to have these. You couldn't have people here, no way. I don't think you could even have practical kind of fake dead people here, to be honest with you, either. Maybe you could, but like I said, it would be so much work just for this one scene. It's like the world has begun to crack. And it's quite funny seeing this guy shaped as a bloody egg. Oh, why is this? Wow, really thin text for this guy. It's my garden. that's how I want to talk when I see this. Living humans can live. This is my garden. Not even sure you can hear me. Your garden is a field of dead. Here come the tentacles. But Skull Knight isn't a living human, is he? Well, I guess he is in a way. He was once a human that lived. I guess you could say he's a living human. If you wanted to. Oh, this guy looks distressed. Yeah, looks like he's tentacling up Skull Knight. then of a veil. Cuts the tentacles off. Yeah, it looks terrified, doesn't it? Well, I wouldn't say terrified, actually. Again, distressed, kind of. There's a lot of expression in his eyes. This little creature, doesn't he? I really like that. I really like that about this guy. Got a lot of expression just from his eyes. I feel like that's a lot harder to do in a manga, in a drawing, than it is in a movie or an anime, for example, where there's movement to it. Here he comes. And this is another fight I was not expecting. This weird egg frog creature versus Skull Knight. And Skull Knight's just messing him up big time, of course. Oh wow, he's actually going for Luca. Holy crap, why? I mean, he did say living humans. Is that the creak of Skull Knight's neck? Again, stuff like this would be really awesome to just hear, like sound effects like that, like a little creak or a crack. As it actually gets her. And I don't think Skull Knight's number one priority is Luca here, is it? So understandable that he has he just run off with her? Oh god, fuck's sake, man. I don't like that one bit. Again, I was actually coming around a lot to Luca. She's actually becoming one of my favourite parts of this. From last chapter onwards, I think. It's actually becoming one of my favourite parts of this arc. That was a real shame. Because there's no way she's not dying here, is there? Or getting turned into a demon or something, right? Well, that sucks, that does. That really sucks. Not bad with such wounds. You can't get far though. However, that form of his. Are you hungry over that form of his, Skull Knight? Are you getting a little bit hungry there? That's what I'm kind of sensing. I'm sensing that because when we did see this shot, it really does look like behelit. It really does. I mean, it's not got the formations, but is this some kind of like living behelit or something? Again, is he getting hungry here? Okay, we'll find out. I can't believe we still haven't seen. I mean, again, we've seen the shape, but we still haven't actually had a good shot of it, kind of in the light or anything, have we? As we fade out from the rotting corpses. Yeah, look at this. We're in the darkness now. That's a really cool switch up, isn't it? Ugh. She's still alive for now. That shitload of candles. What is? Oh shit, we're about to see some Leatherface stuff here. What is this place? We're about to see some Leatherface stuff right here. Oh god. Yep. Wow. Wow, that is quite the, what is it? Is it called an effigy? No, I don't think so. I'm not even really sure what an effigy means. I'm having to Google a word I said myself. Effigy. A sculpture or model of a person, or a roughly made model of a person that is made in order to be damaged or destroyed as a protest. No, it's not. It's not an effigy, but it's a model of the idol they worship. That's the word I'm looking for, idol. And look how creepy that is. Skulls and the spines. That's really fucking cool. I like that a lot, actually. The spines going through the mouths of the skulls and intertwining and linking up. That's really awesome. Again, as much as it's fucked up. That's really cool, isn't it? I like that one. I like the one on the left here a lot. That's really cool. That'd be a cool kind of tattoo or something, wouldn't it? Kind of a snake of a spine and skulls throughout, kind of eating devouring each other. That's really cool. And then you get these again Leatherface kind of. I'm not sure they're stitched up, but these kind of melded together faces and skin of dead people. I'm not sure what's at the top here. Yeah, skin again reminds me a lot of. I think especially the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that one was actually quite a bit scary. I think I've said this story before about how I watched that movie in a caravan. Or I was like 13 or so. And that, looking back, that is quite a brutal movie to be watching at 13. Probably one of the most brutal movies I watched around that age. And yeah, I remember, I think about an hour into it, I just heard a chainsaw starting up from the house next door. And I was absolutely fucking... I closed the laptop screen and I pretended to get bed. Just as a kid would. But yeah, I remember that day quite well again, because after I finished watching it, I opened my window and looked out, and then a bee came in and stung me, which was the first time and only ever time I've actually been stung by a bee. But yeah, I remember that day quite well. Again, one of the most horrific incidents I had while watching a horror movie. Like I said, definitely not a movie you want to be watching at 13. As I mentioned with this kind of group of flesh here, there's some horrible scenes of, again, a guy getting his whole kind of face cut off and then being worn by Leatherface, and yeah, just absolute brutal. Has what's her name in it though? Has a really big actor. The Chainsaw Texas Massacre series in general has a lot of very interesting stuff going on around it. I think it's the Next Generation has some big actors in it as well. I've never watched it. I'm never going to watch it because I've heard it's absolute rubbish. Jessica Biel, yeah, she was in the 2003 one. What's his name? Yeah, it has Matthew McConaughey. Next Generation has Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. Again, I've seen clips, I've heard reviews, I've heard a lot of talk about this, and I don't think I'm ever going to watch it. But I've seen some crazy scenes from from Matthew McConaughey in this movie. But yeah, definitely probably wouldn't recommend that one, even though I haven't seen it. Honestly, number 2 is my favourite of the originals. I really like number 2. It's really funny. But yeah, this is really awesome. Again, quite reminiscent of that. Yeah, number 2 is my favourite just because, again, the comedy is the best in any of them. It's the only real comedic one, to be honest. Toby Huber said the first one was meant to be comedic, but I don't think I laughed once. What is that? A deific image. I'm not sure what deific means. Deific meaning. Resembling a god in qualities such as power or beauty / divine. A deific image. An idol made of skin and bones of priests. Of priests? God. It's not like those made of stone. Who? The true power dwells within. Who are you? I'm nobody. Never having been anyone, known by none, buried in oblivion. Am I so fucking so is oblique the word? I mean, he's so mysterious. I don't think that's the word, is it? Yeah, I guess it is a word for this. Not expressed or done in a direct way. It's quite fitting. This guy's quite oblique. He's quite just mysterious and strange, isn't he? as a mystery. I am nobody, never having been anyone, known by none, buried in oblivion. What do you mean by buried in oblivion? That's quite the sentence to be saying. I feel like I'm just like crying non-stop recently. Apologies, guys. Maybe it's because summer really has come around now. My hay fever's getting bad, but I've been reasonably good for a while, haven't I? Like I haven't had this happen for a long time, actually. Getting quite annoying. Getting quite annoying. My earliest memory is of being in the trash dump at the base of that tower. That him there. But he got a broken back. Ow. What's that our character with a back like that? I forget. Since I could first remember, I would hunt for refuse with the maggots and rats, without even knowing who I was. No one ever told me. He probably lost his memory or something. He arrived here and then to survive just ate the maggots and rats and rubbish. Without even knowing who I was. No one ever told me. Oh, there's one. The black shadow towering into the tall sky, piercing cold and hunger. There is one. So he's not a behelit. He was an actual person. Piercing the cold and hunger. That's all there was. I first knew of myself when, as if driven on by something, I went to spy on the humans above. Yea, what is that? A monster! So they're stoning him. Back down to my own place. Again, such an interesting physique. Look at his foot. That's not a normal foot. And these are not normal arms either. Well, I guess they're not that abnormal, but they're like up here. He's not a normal guy, is he? Oh, is this our first kind of decent look at him like that? Then I dug a small hole. I came to fish through garbage at night, and by day I'd sit still in the hole, as if not breathing. It's not the best look at him, but skin and bones. So a long time passed. The shadow towered firmly, unchanging. My hole grew deeper, so I could escape from it. Deeper, unknown to anyone. Deeper. Damn. Just getting further away from humanity and the world. In your hole. I mean, it's literally getting deeper, and it's also kind of figuratively getting deeper as well, isn't it? Getting further and further away from humanity. Maybe this is the actual kind of behelit, kind of Griffith Femto situation here. Don't know. Interesting, though. Very interesting. We're finally getting a look at this person. But one day, a strange thing fell down my hole. A corpse. The first human corpse I'd ever seen. Someone just chucked a corpse down. That reminds me of the fucking... I don't want to bring this up because I don't like talking about these movies. Jeepers Creepers with the trash chute hole. That was always a really awesome scene, but again, don't like speaking about those movies. Because the director is a kiddie diddler, and yeah, never going to be watching any of those again, unfortunately. again, it's really a shame because they were another. I think I maybe tried watching them when I was like 10 or 11 or younger than when I watched Texas Chainsaw by a fair few years. I tried watching it, and I just couldn't ever. I'd always just hide behind the couch. I can never finish it. Had some really scary scenes there, but it makes sense why it was so scary because it was filmed by a predator. Makes sense that the movie. I'm not sure it was the director again. I'm probably mixing up, but the creator of the series. It makes sense that if the creator of the series was that way inclined, it would make sense why the movie was so damn scary. I think that kind of clicked in my brain. It's like, oh, that's why it was so scary. It was filmed by a predator, and as a kid, makes a lot of sense why I was so damn scared then. This guy's got first-hand bloody experience, but yeah. I mean that, and after the first one, they kind of suck anyway. I was unable to move, as if frozen to that spot. Hanging on to his behelit. Crazed, doesn't he? Absolutely crazed. Looks like Cortopy from Hunter x Hunter a bit there, doesn't he? And then, one after another, came down. At some point, my dwelling was changed into the grave hole for the people who had started settling around here. Hole that they send the dead. You know what, I wouldn't be surprised if he thought he was maybe one of the dead sent down here as well. I was buried. Oh, so that's him that we see in the first couple pages of this volume. Okay. Crushed by corpses at the bottom of the hole, and no one knew about it. Lovely. Yeah, there he is, just crazed eyes just peeking out. It's very tragic, isn't he? But as I was starting to lose consciousness, I met them at the bottom of the hole. The 5 angels. Angels? Are these the angels? The angels showed me the world. Oh, crap. No, the angels. The 5 angels. The God Hand. Is that who he's talking about? Suddenly I perceived myself and everything surrounding. Everything possessing a word form and meaning. I comprehended that the intense things filling me were anger, sadness, and fear. Also that the world I knew was filled with despair, and that I was nobody buried and fading away in the deep. I cried out, a cry like both a baby's first and a dying man's last, in a voiceless voice. Damn, that's some really cool fucking writing right there, isn't it? And that I was nobody, buried and fading away in the deep. I cried out. A cry like both a baby's first and a dying man's last, in a voiceless voice. Wow. That's some really cool writing right there. And the angels answered me. They said, in exchange for something, we will grant your wish. Something? Wish? Is this guy a human behelit? I mean, the eyes are actually the same as the behelit like Griffith had, aren't they? And look at this right here. We actually see his mouth right here, and it looks. Yeah, I mean, it looks, doesn't it? Yes. There's something. Is this world that surrounds me? And the wish is to hatch the perfect world. He is a fucking behelit. Oh, wow. Wow. That is amazing. They turned. So you're telling me the God Hand turned this guy into a human behelit? A massive behelit. So he used the behelit to be turned into a behelit. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Wow. Again, some really good writing here, wasn't there? To end off this one. I'm gonna read the comments in a minute, but wow. Again, I had some suspicions only starting out last chapter / this chapter, but I mean the shape was always there, I guess, wasn't it? And as I said, the eyes, they always did look like a behelit's eyes, didn't they? But because they were next to each other, I never thought that. I kind of dismissed it as them looking like it, but they're together, so it can't be, because we've seen them behelits, they're all over the place, but not this guy, because he's actually kind of human as well. Jesus. That's a really awesome shot there, isn't it? Again, like I said, I really love the skeleton spines coming out of the mouths, whirling upwards. The wish is to hatch the perfect world. One unknown in the depths of depths, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This title now, doesn't it? One unknown. So yeah, this is actually a man right here. Again, what is this then? Is this like, he's a demon? That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just a demon. He's just a man that was turned into a demon, but has the like what I'm questioning is he actually like a behelit you could use? Like, can he be used? If so, does the size of the behelit matter? I mean, that sounds really strange, doesn't it? But all the behelits we've seen are like quite small. So does it like change in the, anything change with it being so big? And again, can he be used as a behelit, or is he just took the form of one? Like, yeah, still plenty of questions. Really cool design on this guy, isn't it? Again, really strange. Just a pair of frogs. Well, they're not even frogs' legs. They're just his human legs, aren't they? That just, it was kind of deformed anyway, so they're just his human legs. But yeah, wow, that was really awesome. Definitely not a letdown on who this guy was. That was, again, that could have easily been a letdown, to be honest, considering how long I've been questioning this person thing. How long I've wanted to know what these eyes were. And that was really awesome. Again, reminds me of something out of almost reminds me a little bit of like Friday the 13th Part 2 / Texas Chainsaw, with this kind of underground kind of setting and the skin and all that. Really cool. I'm talking about this character's written really well, which I'm not disagreeing about. I feel like, again, the writing here was really good for this guy, but you will notice he's the similarity between him and us. I don't really relate to this guy. What is there to relate to with this guy here? Just gonna look over it real quick, because again, sometimes these comments talk nonsense, but maybe this guy has a point. I don't feel like I relate to anything this guy, don't get me wrong, this guy's, well, yeah, this guy's been through some awful stuff, and guy's had an experience, but I can't say I've ever had an experience like this guy. Not once, I don't think. Everything possessed a word, a form, and a meaning. Maybe this guy's just depressed or something in the comment section. Again, So it's quite the situation to relate to, is it not? Anger, sadness, and fear. Again, I guess there is some stuff people can relate to. Me personally, no. Like I've never been in a hole this deep and dark, I think. Again, I feel like, yeah, maybe I dismissed that a bit too quickly. There probably is quite a lot you can actually take from this. Again, me personally, I've never been through something quite this tragic and awful. Yeah, he does look a hell of a lot like Humpty Dumpty, doesn't he? Humpty Dumpty was always quite creepy, to be honest. It was quite a creepy look. Oh, interesting. Someone here says that the Band of the Hawks translation is different from the official, and apparently the official one's much better. Oh, I'm reading the official. Okay, good. Okay, I was gonna say might have to reread it with you guys right here. I had a good zoom in there for a minute, and now it's gone. For fuck's sake. Sorry if I'm a little bit quiet here, guys. Again, just reading. Always very interesting in what the comment section has to say, whether that's in kind of my videos or anything really. This guy asked, did he become a behelit or just symbolic of the shape? This person says both. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess he is still a demon, but he also is a behelit at the same time. So he can be used, which is interesting. Is he the behelit? I did kind of go into this thinking that the one Guts has a hold of would be the behelit used in this situation, but I guess it might be this guy. Funny enough, that might be. Do you reckon it'd be Luca? It can't be Luca using it, right? Hatch the perfect world. I guess it is very fitting, isn't it? Hatching the perfect world. He wanted to become something that could create someone's perfect world, where that is very fitting of his stories. And again, he's really well written, especially considering we've only had this about him, if you know what I'm saying. This is the only exposure we've had to this guy. Really well written, isn't it? Again, I can really understand how it would be relatable to some people. But yeah, again, sorry I've been caught up for this for like 10 minutes, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about these cover chapters down in the comment section. Again, some brilliant stuff again, especially in the second chapter. Don't get me wrong, I really like the first chapter. Had some nice artwork in there, had some nice action sequences, but story wise, again, this chapter here was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? Again, really liking Luca. Don't get me wrong though, she didn't do all too much here, but I like her involvement in the story thus far quite a lot. But yeah, some really cool stuff here. Again, I'm not sure if this is like, probably not references, but some kind of nostalgic kind of, I say, it's horrible. It really is horrible thinking about it when you call stuff like this nostalgic, but some quite nostalgic imagery for me here. Is what a normal person would think, isn't it? A normal person hearing me say that's nostalgic would be quite disturbing, but it is. But yeah, thank you guys for watching again. Let me know what you guys thought about these chapters down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. I'll be back next time with the next couple of chapters, so hopefully I'll see you then, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.